Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Very, very predictable, this US media. And that is in the way it analyzes certain events, and in another way, analyzing the same events but done by someone else. So if the actors are changed, but the script is the same, they will report it differently. You know that. And also they take sides, that's for sure. And that is, for instance, as I say many times, if these guys see one of their relatives raping someone else, they are inclined to forget about it and ignore it, or maybe call it in a positive way. But if they see another incident, another rape committed by someone that they don't know or they don't like, now they will be fair enough and, pointing out things that are pointed or should be pointed. So this is a situational, remember, this is media. So they should report, not necessarily interpret things for us because we're dumb. So what happened here? Obviously, I personally did not expect the US media, the free media, the corporate media, here in the West to behave in any other different way than they behave right now regarding the drones attacks on the Kremlin. As I said in my previous videos regarding the incident, that could have been a false flag operation, could have been done by the Ukrainians with the help of the Americans, could have been done by the Americans, could have been done by saboteurs. All this are on the table. And some probabilities. Possibilities, they're all of this. Probabilities on each one. As of now, I don't think, and the only entities that might know who did it is possibly the Russians, who are the receiving end, and they are actively investigating this. And guess what? They already came with a conclusion. Initial conclusion. Why initial conclusion? Because I don't think they had time to really investigate the whole thing. And obviously the perpetrators, or the alleged perpetrators, in this case let's call them perpetrators because someone did it. So whoever did it, and the guys who are right now investigating, which are the Russians investigating teams. The problem is not a problem, I would say. I can say the problem. The problem is Dmitry Peskov, the spokesman of the Kremlin, came out and said that US is responsible for this attack as well because they must have organized it. And he says that the United States definitely was involved because Ukrainians don't do shit without the Americans' orders or advice or planning or agreement. It seems like, it seems like. A lot of reports came saying that actually, for instance, the Ukrainians cannot use the HIMARS unless they get a green light for each and every salvo that HIMARS delivers. It's not me saying that. There were some, I think, Americans saying that. Not that if an American says something necessarily is, as it is, but this is what they said, and I'm reporting here what they said. And let's go to these two articles that I have. One I have it from Reuters, the other one I have it for NBC News. And I picked these ones because they all say the same thing. But I picked them so you see they're written by two different authors of the articles, and they both interpret it in the same way, at least at the beginning, I'm going to point out to you. And we'll have some statements made by Peskov, the Kremlin's spokesperson. Spokesman, anyway. See, I get myself caught in this. That's how they do it. They make you use their words. Why? The same thing is with other issues like trans this and trans that. And if you use another term, oh my God, you can't use that. Who are you to tell me, and why should I change? Well, it'd be kind. Really? Okay. I want to be truthful. I don't care about being kind too much. So here's NBC News, and this is from today. This is the title. Russia claims the US is behind the alleged Ukrainian drone attack on the Kremlin. Both Kiev and Washington strongly denied involvement in what Moscow said. without citing evidence was an attempt to assassinate President Vladimir Putin. You know what the evidence is, my friends? Our intelligence services said that. That should be all the evidence MSNBC or NBC and Reuters in a second should have as an answer from the Russians. Why? The Americans do not come with evidence when they claim something, the intelligence services. They just say, this is what it is, this is what it is, and they say, well, this is our report. Did you find any evidence? What was the evidence, for instance, when, for instance, and I'm not defending that, the CIA came with that report that most likely Mohammed bin Salman ordered the killing of Khashoggi. What was the evidence? They came with a story. What was the evidence? There's no evidence, it's just a story. Based on their investigation, CIA investigation, they gave you that. And what are you going to do? Oh, can I see the investigation, please? Let me look over it. Oh, what is this? This is BS. Oh, no, yeah, this is good. No, they just say what are you going to do. And by the way, these investigations are very confidential. Very, very confidential. So you cannot see it. So what is this guy talking about? Without evidence. Well, the evidence is that there is a report by the intelligence community in Russia who reached this conclusion. That's your evidence. Remember, watch some, maybe you don't remember, but maybe you watch some hearing and US hearings and this committee hearing and that committee hearing, and sometimes there are some FBI big bosses over there or former, usually the ones that are over there regarding whatever situation, FBI, CIA, shootings, this, that, Trump, and all that. And when they're asked for evidence, how they reach that conclusion, how they determine it, whatever the outcome of the investigation, this is their answer. Well, this is either an ongoing investigation, so I cannot disclose any information, and the other one, all this is just confidential, and it's we can't disclose it. Therefore, I tell you, you are a criminal. I'm not going to tell you why, but as of now, you are a criminal based on my investigation that I cannot share it with you. I'm just sharing you the determination, and based on that determination that is confidential, you get in trouble. I heard this so many times. The same here. Why don't you accept that, NBC, because you don't have the same issue when CIA makes this kind or the intelligence community of Great Britain or Ukraine or United States makes this kind of statements like this. Well, it's this guys who did it, or that guy, or that's not true. You don't ask, hey, without providing any evidence. They rarely say this at the end, rarely. Maybe I saw it 1 in 1,000. I didn't read 1,000 articles, but I'm exaggerating to make it like that. And I'm not exaggerating, let's say, 40% to 60%. I'm exaggerating 1 in 100. So maybe from 100 articles that I read, maybe I found one like, without really providing evidence, but not bluntly. Yes, it's true. That's the way you should probably write an article, without providing any evidence, just saying, but use the same terms for your buddies. Otherwise, you're a hack. You're just a propagandist. And I think that's what they are. So that's the first one, right, with NBC. I'm not going to go into the article here, but if you read it in the second paragraph, the accusation made without citing evidence comes less than 24 hours after Moscow said it had foiled an overnight drone strike on the building that acts as the head of the country's government and Putin's residence, something Kiev strongly denied. Yes, are you surprised that they were able in 24 hours to come with this one, and the other guys still didn't tell us who blew up the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2 pipelines after 7 months and a half? Isn't that strange? So yeah, I think it's strange for you guys. Now let's go. It says here, Russia claimed Thursday that the US was behind an alleged drone attack on the Kremlin that is said was a Ukrainian attempt to assassinate Putin. Now let's go to the other one, which comes from Reuters. And the same day, May 4th, 2023, Russia accuses US of orchestrating Kremlin drone attack. Peskov right here. And let's see the first, not the first one. He says Russia accused the United States. Is another again. And here, after, this is in the first paragraph or first sentence, because this is just reiterating of the title. A day after blaming Ukraine for what it called, again, a terrorist attack, the Kremlin administration shifted the focus onto the United States, but without providing evidence to support its accusation. Look, who wrote this article? This article, where are you? By Reuters. Right here, by Mark Trevelyan. I'm assuming this guy is from Armenia, but hey, that's just me thinking because of the end. So, Mark Trevelyan. And here, the other one was written by Patrick Smith. So there's two different individuals from two different news media outlets, right? NBC right here, and Reuters, right? Over there, and they use the same terms. Isn't that strange? I think they just found out how to write an article. So let's see what Peskov says. It says here, I'm quoting Peskov, attempts to disown this both in Kiev and in Washington are, of course, absolutely ridiculous. We know very well that decisions about such actions, about such terrorist attacks, are made not in Kiev, but in Washington. Putin spokesman Peskov said, Putin, not Kremlin's. They try to lower his authority. Being Putin, like, okay, there's buddy right here, probably they are. But anyway, he represents an institution, which is the Kremlin. He's a spokesperson. It's like you would say here, Catherine, whatever his name, Saint-Pierre, whatever her name is, the spokesperson of the White House, you would say, well, Biden's spokesman, or Biden's spokesperson, because I know she is all kind of Biden's spokeswoman, Jean-Pierre, whatever her name is. All right? But they don't see that. Again, this is the way these guys write articles, my friends. And again, here, let's go down because it has more to say. He said that the United States was, and I'm quoting, undoubtedly behind the alleged attack, and added again, without stating evidence, I'm very keen on mentioning this, all of a sudden, Reuters. I want to hear you say that when the United States intelligence community claims something. I want you to say the same thing like 3 times, again. That Washington often selected both the targets for Ukraine to attack and the means to attack them. And it's not only, this is not because the Russian says it. And I'm quoting, this is also often dictated from across the ocean. We know this well and are aware of this. In Washington, they must clearly understand that we know this, end quote. Russia has said with increasing frequency that it sees the United States as a direct participant. I see it from my perspective. You give my enemy weapons, you are a participant. There you have it. You advise them with anything, you are a participant. You give them military advisors, you are a participant. However you want, you place sanctions on me, you are a participant. Because you took a side on my issue with someone that you have nothing to do with. You just inserted yourself in something or someone's side. What should I consider it? Neutral? Neutrality? I mean, really? So direct participant in the Ukraine war intent on inflicting and I'm quoting, strategic defeat on Moscow. Now, if Moscow loses this one, or Russia loses, Russia will be forever gone. Will never come back. These guys will make sure that Russia will never come together as a country as it is right now, for instance. United, whatever country. I'm guaranteeing this will be the last time when we're going to have a Russia on this, how should I put it, planet, as we know it right now. It's going to be divided, it's going to be controlled, it's going to be enslaved. That's how I see it. Can I see it that way? That's how I see it. They tried with, the closest with that were with Yeltsin. Now is this. And almost succeeded with Yeltsin. Now they say, well, maybe we were not aggressive enough with Yeltsin, but this time we're going to get the job done 100%. It's like the Romans did with Carthage. You know what they did with Carthage after they won against their Carthaginian enemies? They raised it. They took rock with rock. They raised it, made it flat, and then they put salt on it. So nothing will will grow over there again, according to the Romans. So that's how much they loved the Carthaginians, because it was a hard-fought war, long war against the Carthaginians. They lost a lot, but they won. So I think that's not going to be like that, but they're going to make sure that it be divided in so smart way, intelligent Western way, that these guys will never have will be over there a country, or many countries divided in many locations, like Romania, like Bulgaria, like Czech Republic, like Slovakia, like Germany. There are no non-entities. They exist as countries, they show democracy and all that, but they have nothing, no power. Everything is dictated from somewhere else, not everything, but the military is over here, political system is already in my hand, economically I can strangle you whenever I want because I'm in charge. You'll see. I hope you don't see that. I hope Russia remains a country as everybody else except those guys over there. I'm talking about an independent sovereign country. Well, not a criminal terrorist country, obviously, right? We have to say that for YouTube. I'm just kidding. Let's go here. Let's go. I know he says more here. I see what the incident. Oh, they tried to say that the incident took place less than a week before Russia's Victory Day, marking the defeat of Nazi, an important public holiday. So these guys are trying to cancel that, the May 9th celebrations. So, my friends, this is what the Russians claim. Is it true? I don't know. But I want to see some sympathy for those guys that love freedom, democracy and all that. But I don't see any sympathy. Imagine, let's say, that if some countries would have said, you know what, when the United States claimed it was Saddam Hussein that did September 11 terrorist attacks on United States, would have said, come on, it's not Iraq, you just lie. What's your evidence? You don't have any evidence. Oh, we have this, we have that. Based on what? Remember what kind of evidence U.S. provided about the Iraq invasion of Iraq? Remember? That was they say, we said so, you're with us, or you're otherwise you're against us. That's what George W. Bush said before providing evidence. He had to hit them, so he did. And then when he didn't find what he said he changed the paradigm. He said, well, actually, you know what, since we're here, we brought freedom and democracy. You like it or not, we bring it because we know it's good for you. See how well it served them. Anyway, that's for the country to decide what direction that they take, not the neighbor to come and fix your life without asking the neighbor to come over here. Because if you can do that, that means I can do that too to you. But no, because they're the good guys, we're the bad guys. So that's how the justice is distributed in this beautiful world. On one side, but I'm guessing that's not a guessing, I'm stating, that's a mark of a certain kind of level. Thank you very much for being with me again. And it's universal in human nature, don't worry. If I can take it without asking, I will. You know, now we just pretend we're civilized and we try to, but in the end, if I don't get what I want, I'm going to take it. Through threats, blackmail, regime change, or smack. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just, my friends.